Mastering Mixology is old school's Herblore minigame, and whether you're a main or an Iron Man, you'll want to spend some time here, if not for anything other than the potion storage reward, which will save you a ton of space in your bank. In order to get here, you have two options. One, you got the Quetzal network here. It's already unlocked. You just take it to Aldarium. The other option you got is Fairy Ring CKQ, and then coming to this house. I have been cooking in the lab for this guide since before the update. Pun very much intended, by the way. So let's get right into it. There's a bank right here. You're going to pull out some herbs and you're going to use it on the refiner here because you're going to have to get the paste to start this mini game. Each type of herb can give a different type of paste. You can also use unfinished potions as you saw there. What herb should you be breaking down for each of the elements? It's going to depend on if you're a main or an Iron Man because it's actually different depending on that. Mains, you're going to be focused on the least expensive one per element given. That's going to be your best option. For Aga, that's going to be Lantidine. For Lai, that's going to be Toadflax. And for Mox, that's going to be Marintel or Terromin. Keep in mind, these prices could change, especially with this mini game. So you'll want to reference in the future which ones are the cheapest then. You can use the Mastering Mixology wiki page. It should have a table there. Just focus on the ones that are giving you the most amount of element per GP. For Iron Man, the ones that you're going to want to focus on are the ones that obviously you have a huge stack of herbs from certain content or just because they're not used in a lot of potions that you use too often. So for Aga, you're going to use Irit or Dwarf. Those are your main ones. For Lai, you're going to use Quorum or Avanto. I'd say Avanto probably most of the time. The rest of these potions are super important for Iron Man, obviously. The Prayer Pots, Restore Pots, and Brew, so you're not going to use those ever. And then for Mox, you could pretty much use everything here. I'd say the best one is probably Terromin because that's one that you tend to get a really big stack of, I believe, from Chambers. But yeah, you can use the other ones. Herlander is obviously an option, but Herlander now makes Goading potions, so you'll want to do that for those potions. So I would say focus on these ones first. Now that you have your stack of paste, you'll want to just put them in the hopper, keep them all at 300, and fill this up when you start to get low. If you look at the top left of my screen, you can see that there's potion orders here, and there's 3 options here. You have to make one of these to complete the order, and then from there, it'll give you a new set of 3 to work with. It's going to depend on what's here based on your Herblore level. You have to start this game at 60, and then all the way to 84, you start to get the last type of potions. So in order to make these potions, you're going to have to look at what elements are needed and then how to actually make it, which is you can crystallize it, concentrate it, or homogenize it, which are these 3 things here. So I will first show off how to actually make the potion. So you're going to come here in the middle and you're going to use the elements required to make the potion. So I'm just going to click this purple one 3 times because I know that makes Mammoth Mix. I'm going to explain how I know that later. You're going to grab the potion. That needs to either be crystallized or it needs to be over here homogenized. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to homogenize it. I got the potion, great. I'm going to come here, I'm going to get rewarded with points. You could do a potion that's not on the list, but if you do that, you're only going to get a third of the points, and it's going to slow down your progress a ton. On top of that, you're only going to get a third of the XP, meaning that you're effectively going to be spending 3 times as much GP per XP. Each of these 3 tables have a way to speed up the progress. Let's talk about that really quick. So first one I'm going to show you is the concentrate one. So I'm going to make this potion here and we're going to come here. To speed up the concentrate, it's as simple as just clicking every tick or just clicking fast and you can see the drops coming. That speeds it up by double the speed there. You're done your order. Next up, let's show how to homogenize quickly. This one's pretty simple, intuitive I would say. You're going to come here, you're going to wait for the chime sound. There you go, and you're going to click. There's also a little visual as well if you don't play with sounds for whatever reason. Last up is the crystallize. For the crystallize, this one's a little bit hard to get used to, but you need to wait until you have 5 pumps and click on the 5th pump. So if we go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go, it speeds it up. You have to do exactly that. So it's 5 pumps or 5 ticks. And that's pretty much the basic loop. Make a potion, go to the table, speed up the progress, deliver the potion. Fairly simple. The complicated bit comes in determining what potions you should make from the ones available here. On top of that, you'll need to know exactly what elements are required for those potions. Luckily, there's answers for both of those that are fairly simple over time. First thing, in terms of knowing what elements are required, these are all actually acronyms for the first letter of each of the elements here. So first, if we look at Mammoth Might Mix, we can see that that's MMM, which is Mox. We can do Mox 3 times. And in the middle here, we got a Mammoth Mix. If we look at the middle one here, Mystic Mana Amalgam, we can see if we do MMA, we got this. Now, what I did here is I marked each of these 3 tiles with the letter. It just makes it a lot easier, especially once I deliver a potion, I can quickly look and see exactly which ones I need to use. More on acronyms in just a second, but before we do that, let's explain what potions you should prioritize making. There is actually a hierarchy. It's not based on XP. It's not based on GP. General Herblore training is your way to go there. What it is based on is what we're here for, the rewards. If we look at the rewards, like for instance, potion storage here, there's a bit of a hierarchy here in terms of the elements needed. The lye resin actually has the most cost, where the mox has a middle amount of cost, and the least is the aga. Every item here follows that same hierarchy. So with that being said, you're going to have to spend more time making potions that have lye resin than you are going to be making potions that have aga, for example. All that being said, this is our priority of potions we want to make. You can also see here the acronyms. I've highlighted them for you. So we can see lip, lack, liquor, it's LLL. And even some of the more tricky ones like mix a lot is MAL. So this will help you when you're in game. You'll start to get quickly used to which potions are showing up. And you're going to want to focus on the ones that have a lot of L. The ones we want to avoid are the ones that have a lot of aga in it. Reason being is we're going to get enough passive aga from the first half of this tree here that we don't really need to focus on aga. We need to focus on lye as much as possible. Of course, if you need more aga at any point, you can do a few potions more here and there, but lye is always going to be the bottleneck, especially if you don't know about this priority order, so focus on that as much as you can. You might also notice here that there's a little herb symbol next to lip black liquor. In the corners of each of the room, there is some young digweed here. Once in a while, it's going to spawn a mature one. You need to go pick it up, and you need to be pretty quick with it. There we go. So you can right-click, shift-click, and mark objects, so it's a little easier for it to show up, but we got a digweed now. I don't have this as an order right now, but we want to put it on a lip black liquor like this, and now we can see that it's enhanced. So we got our lip black liquor now, and it wants us to crystallize it. Okay, and now we got it, and now if we inspect it, we can see it's been improved. So when we turn this in here, it's going to give us double the amount of points, and XP, by the way. That's what you got to do. Now, there's an additional advanced tip here you can do in general with the lip black liquor, or again, whatever your highest potion is if you can't do that yet. What I'm doing now is I'm making a bunch of these lip black liquors and putting them in my inventory. What this does is when I have a future order, I can just use the ones that are here. Couple of things when you're doing this. You're going to go through your hopper pretty quickly because obviously you're using only lye. So you're going to make a bunch and you're going to have to refill just so that you have them all at like 300 before you start this process. Secondly, make sure it's not in the top spot of your inventory. If it's in the top spot, sometimes you'll accidentally put it in somewhere and it kind of messes it up. So what you can do now is go about your general order. So I'm going to make this Mix-a-Lot, for instance. I'm going to homogenize it. Okay, so there's a lip black liquor currently made. So instead of going to make the potion, I could just go right to the table right away. And we're going to make this potion. And it's already in our inventory ready to turn in. Maybe we'll get another one. Sometimes you can get back to back. So that's a way of kind of saving these in your inventory to make the process a little bit quicker. Overall, it's going to save you some time. You want to use it whenever it shows up. And then the other benefit to this is when you do get a weed, you can add it into this and then process it later for the bonus points. You could take this strategy a bit further too and carry like 2 potions, for example. So I have the Megalite and the lip black liquor here. The thing is, you have to be very conscious here because, for instance, I got a lip black liquor order. If I were to just click on this machine like I was doing with the single strategy, with this I need to actually use it on the machine to avoid using the Megalite by accident. Just something to keep in mind there. If you're very sweaty, maybe you can work with that. In my opinion though, I think I would just go for the 1 potion because it's a lot more chill. You can push this potion strategy as far as you'd like. You can even make a bunch of mammoth mite mixes, just process them and use them as a way to skip orders. Overall, it's up to you what strategies you want to do. Maybe you just have mix potions, although I think the points that you're losing probably aren't worth it. Or maybe you just go with the lip black liquors or your highest potion and kind of add herbs to them and use those when they come up. That way you can just left click the machines and not have to accidentally put the wrong thing in. Let's talk about the rewards. First up is the potion storage. This is definitely the thing that pretty much everybody will want to go for. It's untradeable, so you have to come here to the game and actually complete this many points to get it. Going to save you a ton of bank space. You're not going to put all your potions in here, but it's just all the miscellaneous ones you don't use too often. The reagent pouch allows you to store secondaries inside of it. Biggest benefit of this is training Herblore. You can make 27 potions at a time as opposed to making 14 at a time because the secondaries are in the pouch. Really good if you're training Herblore and you want to make it more AFK. Also really good for Iron Man post 99 to make that experience of upkeeping potions more AFK as well. The pre-pot device is something you can go for. Very expensive here in terms of points. This is actually tradable, so you'll be able to buy this on the GE as well. I'm very curious to see how much these go for considering the points here. This might go for quite a bit. So it's up to you if you want to farm it here or buy it on the GE. Of course, for Iron Man, you'll have to get it. Prescription goggles are an optional thing you can do. Provides 10% chance to save your secondary ingredients when mixing potions. That's really good for Iron Men who struggle with upkeep of like red spider eggs or snape grass. For mains, if you're thinking about doing this to save money, farming this out is probably going to cost you more money anyways. But that being said, if you're like a completionist or something, or you enjoy this game more than making potions, you can still farm this out. The rest of the outfit though is purely cosmetic and clog, so it's up to you if you want to get that. In terms of other stuff you can get, the alchemist amulet here, this allows you to store the amulets of chemistry inside of it. That allows you to create 4-dose potions at a 5% chance typically. This amulet will also buff that to a 15% chance. That being said, you're not making more 4 doses. You're making the same amount of 4 doses you would. It's just you only use the charge when that 5% would have procced. Now it's going to proc 15% of the time. So you're going to go through amulets more frequently. That being said, I think the best part about this amulet is the fact that you don't have to constantly put new amulets of chemistry on. You can just put them all in this amulet and never have to worry about that. In terms of consumable or more long-term rewards, we have a couple of options. First up, we have these potion packs here. These aren't really worth the money. You don't get a ton of pots in them. The only thing really cool about them is the fact that you're using herbs in the minigame that you weren't going to use anyways and walking away with pots that you will use. That can feel pretty good on something like an Iron Man or a restricted account, but overall you probably wouldn't get this. What you will spend your money on long term is Aldarium. Right now I think this is the only way you can get it. It's a secondary ingredient used for making goading potions and prayer regeneration potions, both very valuable. Prayer regeneration potions is just passive prayer over time and it's going to save you on prayer pots. The goading potion makes monsters aggressive towards you. I'm going to do a whole video on this one, very excited for. Okay, let's open this expert potion pack, see if I wasted my money. Yeah, that's really bad.